Hi, I'm Chloe and I'll be helping you through a LabWizard demo. LabWizard is a chemical plating line bath management software which will give you precise triggering events for technicians to analyze the chemicals in your production process. The first part of this demo will be going over the basic screens in LabWizard and what it offers, and there will be other demonstrations later with more detail. Every technician that uses the software will need to log in right over here. That way there is accountability and you are able to see exactly which technicians are doing what kind of work. And right over here under the process screen we can see electroless copper, automated plating, brown oxide, de-smear, manual plating, nickel gold plate, pumice pre-clean, SES line, hot air level, and control D analysis. And with each process there is a set of stations that can be set up. And all of these came from one factory doing work. You can customize any of these parameters with the processes that you have in your production facility and customize the stations. Each tank can be a station, and in this case, electroless copper has a station called Conditioner 3320 with one component, 748 Microtech with 4 components, Cap Prep with 2 components, Catalyst with 4, Rack Strip with 3, and so on. Every single process can be customized and set up exactly how you want it with the chemicals that you want analyzed. So now let's go to the process setup area of the program. And here we have a few options. Under the process options we see add a process, modify attributes of a selected process, or delete a process. And similarly in station options we see add a station, modify attributes of a station, or delete a station. And the same thing for component options, we have add, modify, or delete a component. And over here in the process setup area, you can enter different units for measuring the product. So in this case, when we click electroless copper, we can see that the units for measuring product is square feet. And there is a schedule of time where you can say a process is starting every day. So right here is where we would see Sunday through Saturday, and the stop times of your plating lines. This way it's efficient for calculating the events of your workweek schedule, where it's accurate what hours have elapsed between each analysis period, versus having the analysis scattered in gaps throughout the week. And over here in the station area, we can see station number, station size, units for describing station size. So when we click Conditioner 3320, we can see that the station size is 100 gallons. And you can automate and add printout after the analysis right here. That way, if the analysis is out of spec or if the technician is tempted to log inaccurate results, they won't have a chance to because it will print out the minute they enter the analysis. You also have the option here to analyze after a makeup, so to check that your technician is making up the bath correctly, and you can trigger another analysis. You can trigger the station makeup by 2 methods. One is by going through the process, which you can see here. And you can trigger a station makeup by either time, product, both, or none. And this is where you would see how much product runs through the process. There are also different add instructions and makeup instruction options that we will go through later. The next station we will go through is the component station. For this component we have DI water and sulfuric acid. Here we can see that sulfuric acid is being triggered by time. And this is the area where it provides the amount of time that your process is actually running product. And that's where you set up your production schedule with the days of the week and your start time process. So that amount of time will just be strict production time that your process is actually running product. You also have the option here to reanalyze after a makeup, to double check that the technician has done the add correctly, and if the add was out of spec, and you want to have the technician reanalyze again, you can click this box, and then trigger another makeup based on adds here, in which you can trigger a makeup. There is also a field for units for describing the bath concentration, which we can see here, and in this case it's a percentage. For an add you can choose your units, and in this case we can see that's gallons. And because some labs operate with metric and standard SI units, this provides flexibility for whatever you need. And the units for analysis field is here, in which we can see this is milliliters. We also have the add threshold here, add precision, and makeup precision. And if you want to modify these, you choose the precision that you want to do their measurements to, so the add precision and the makeup precision. There is also SP-type spec limits. As well as the area where you can put the custom instructions here, where the technician will only see if a certain value or threshold is reached. And you can set that threshold right here, so greater than or less than. And you may have some situations that require that kind of flexibility. This area here is your control chart parameters. So if you click here for manually defined control chart parameters, you have access to the upper control limit, lower control limit, moving range average, moving range upper control limit. Then here you have the option to include a CPK report, and here we have the SPC rules. There are several rules that we will go over at a later time that would trigger an out-of-spec condition. The next thing we're going to touch on is the template that can be accessed for customizing your reports and ad slips. So clicking on the printing tab here, we're going to go to Add Template. And we can see that we have a tracking field number here, where there is a sequential number that is issued with every ad event. Then we have in the triple brackets here, date, time, process, station, station number, safety equipment, a place to provide comments and ad information. Then below we can see the place where the technician would initial what they have done, followed by the date and time. And there are a lot of options for flexibility for how you can set up your ad slips, which is great because each situation may be slightly different. And if you want to see what all the fields are that can be used, you would go to the Help screen here, and you can see all of the fields in the triple brackets. There is also the report preview here, and this just shows you what it looks like when it prints. And you also have the option here to test print. Another feature is the makeup template, which we can see right now. And we can also see the triple brackets once again. And you can move these into the place wherever you want to add them to, and it just shows similar fields as what we looked at before with the ad template. So we have the tracking, date, time, process, station, station number, safety equipment, carefully remake a new solution using the specified amounts below, which is just an example of a custom comment that you can add, modify, or delete. And again, we see the print preview here, which you can click on to get a look at what it looks like when it prints out. And this is the actual printout that the technician will initial that they did. There's also another option for email, which will provide different notifications that will appear when certain things are out of spec, but we will go over these at a later time. So the rest of this walkthrough is going over what happens when an event is triggered. So we're going to click Exit here, and it brings us back to the home screen. So here we can see that electroless copper has an event due. So we're going to go to 748 microtech and sulfuric acid PC grade. And under the events due now and upcoming events, we can see analysis due for sulfuric acid PC grade. So the technician would click on this line, and the analysis screen would pop up here. So in this case, we'd need to input a value for milliliters, and we can see concentration percentage, delta, add threshold, and the amount you add. So in this case, we would put in 3.2, which would bring the concentration percentage up to 1.7920, delta to 0.4080, add threshold to 0, and the amount you add is 1. So we click OK. And after the technician does this, it summarizes here what is found, which says that there is a couple of options. So it gives you the option for procedure, trend chart, show formula, maintenance ad, excluded data, comments, and cancel. So if we were to click procedure, it would provide us with there is no analysis procedure for sulfuric acid PC grade. So we click OK. For trend chart, it just shows us a chart for the analysis that we just did. For show formula, it gives us a raw formula for the situation. And then for maintenance ad, you can actually do a maintenance ad if you want. And we will go over these in greater detail in future videos. So once the analysis has been completed, we hit the exit button, and we can go back to the screen, and it issues an ad slip immediately. So we click OK, and then we can see that the concentration was done. But if we had, for instance, put an input that was out of spec, an ad screen would have came up. So if we go back here, and for the input for milliliters, we put something that's out of spec, like 0.01, it shows that it's red, so it's out of spec. So we would click OK, and an ad slip is automatically issued. And now it shows us that the concentration is out of spec. So at this point, we need to select a reason why, out of all the possible reasons that we can see why it would be out of spec. And you can edit and have customized any of these for your application. So we just click one of those and then click exit. Alright, well this is the first part of the LabWizard walkthrough, so stay tuned for more, and if you're interested in finding out more, visit the LabWizard website, labwizard.com.